thank you so much. Brent Bozell is the man, and the Media Research Center does extraordinary work, so let me begin by thanking all of you for doing what you do. I'm very happy to be here tonight. In fact, I actually turned down Jay Leno tonight to be here, so they had to go book another guest, and I'm wondering if they found anybody to replace me. I don't know. Let me know if you hear anything. Our first award tonight is such a perfect award. It encapsulates the man I call the Obama. I am so glad that Brent brought up the whole teleprompter thing because it drives me crazy. I just don't get how the mastery of high-tech cue cards is inspiring. He really does kick into gear, though, as soon as he sees a teleprompter. It's like a switch gets flipped in the guy's head. Can you imagine if he ever drove himself to a fast food joint, pulls into the drive-thru, sees that big menu and that big screen and the microphone ready for him, and whammo, he's in his element. He thinks it's a teleprompter. So he starts at the top with the McMuffin, breakfast. And he doesn't stop reading until the very last McNugget. And then he hears a voice, like the voice of God, say, "That'll be $481.16, sir. Please pull up to the next window. And by the way, do you want a side of hope to go with your order?" All right, let's get started on our nominees for the Media Messiah Award. Our first nominee is MSNBC's Chris Matthews. Now, to quote the legendary band Chicago, "Baby, what a big surprise." Chris Matthews is the only guy we know who wears his heart on his sleeve and his pants. For Matthews, the adoration of the Obama is part religious experience, part hormones. This is an epic bromance for the ages. And by the way, totally gross as well, but at least he's found some focus, Matthews has, because normally his rantings are all over the map, right? Incoherent, disjointed, outrageous, but not memorable, just lame and ridiculous, and the typical Matthews mumbles. Then, on February 12th last year, he did it. He blurted the one line, the line, that has forever defined him. The line through which everything he ever says from this point forward will be filtered. The line that makes us laugh, not with him, but at him. Every time he opens his mouth. Get ready.
I have to tell you, it's part of reporting this case of this election. The feeling most people get when they hear a Barack Obama speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I mean, I don't have that too often.
Steady.
No, seriously, it's a dramatic event. He speaks about America in a way that has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with the feeling we have about our country, and that is an objective assessment.
See, now you guys thought that the thrill up the leg was the funny line there. No, it was the last line where he said that was an objective assessment. Chrissy, if you think that this will ever go away ever, you have no idea. Someday, Alex Trebek's grandson will be reading the final Jeopardy answer. In 2008, this little-known TV journalist embarrassed himself by declaring that a presidential candidate gave him a thrill up his leg. And you know what? They'll all get it right, even if no one can ever remember what network he was on. All right, our next nominee for the Media Messiah Award is CNN's David, "I have advised presidents of both parties, so I must be objective," Gergen. I have a question. Just why should we care what David Gergen thinks about anything? One former colleague of his said it all when he described him as 6'4", 100% whore. Not me. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. On August 28, 2008, David Gergen was covering Obama's speech at the Democrats' convention. Quandary: how to report? As a Republican? As a Democrat? Gergen decided he was now a Washington Post arts critic, and what he was covering was not a convention, but instead the Academy Awards.
In many ways, it was less a speech than a symphony. That it moved quickly and had a high tempo at times, inspiring, and then it became more intimate, slower, all along sort of interweaving a main theme about America's promise, echoes of Lincoln, of King, even of Reagan and of Kennedy. It was a masterpiece.
I know. For our third nominee tonight, we have a 2-for-1 special. MSNBC's Keith Olbermann. Oh yeah, you weren't escaping tonight without him, you know. MSNBC's Keith Olbermann and Chris Matthews together in the same clip. This is, of course, MSNBC's version of Fair and Balanced. On August 28, 2008, MSNBC put this pair on as the anchors for the network's coverage of the Democratic National Convention. Not commentators, not color guys, anchors. What were they thinking? Well, we sort of know what they're thinking. Ask yourself this, though. Say to yourself, self, what would you have to be smoking to think that these two should be anchoring anything, much less the coverage of a singular historical event? How many hits off of that Michael Phelps bong does it take, okay, to hand everything over to Beavis and Butthead? In fact, how bad were Tweedledee and Tweedledummer? They were so bad, they were fired. Not even MSNBC could stand them. Watch how Thing 1 and Thing 2 work themselves into a giant lather. We don't call this the Media Messiah Award for nothing. Listen how Matthews actually equates Obama to Jesus Christ.
For 42 minutes, not a sour note and spellbinding throughout in a way usually reserved for the creations of fiction. An extraordinary political statement, almost a fully realized, tough, crisp, insistent speech in tone and in the sense of cutting through the clutter. I'd love to find something to criticize about it. You got anything?
No, you know, I've been criticized for saying he inspires me, and the hell with my critics. You know, in the Bible they talked about Jesus serving the good wine last. I think the Democrats did the same.
Oh my God. Oh my God, OMG, as the kids say. You gotta know that they wanted to sniff the cork. All right, time now for our winner. The envelope, please. The lovely Colleen, thank you very much. Okay, we don't have a drum roll, so just imagine it in your mind. The winner of this year's Media Messiah Award is that thrill-filled laughingstock of journalism, Chris Matthews.
Thrill me, walk me down the lane where shadows will be.
I have to tell you, you know,